go ahead and gavel in now. I thank everyone for their patience. I am going to ask Dr. Sparks to do the flag salute, please, and then we'll get started. You may participate if you'd like. Thank you.
Okay, here we go. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay.
Roll call.
Yes, please.
Trustee Sparks? Here. Vice President Williams?
Present.
Trustee Gomez?
Present.
And President Barkey?
Present.
I'd like to make the motion to adopt the agenda, President Barkey, with the modifications that the protocol will be an opening statement by each of our candidates for 3 minutes, followed by board questions, 7 minutes each for each trustee, and followed by a closing statement by the candidate not to exceed 1 minute.
Second.
Could I get a clarification?
Sure.
When you say 7 minutes each, we're talking about total questions from us, not for each candidate, correct?
Board members will get 7 minutes to ask questions.
Okay, of all the
7
candidates.
for you,
total.
7 for Mary,
Yeah.
7
Okay.
for myself, and 7 for...
All those in
Just wanted to
favor?
clarify that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so that passes unanimously. Okay, the next question we're going to discuss openly here, because Becky brought it up, so I don't want a Brown Act violation, is Becky felt that we should ask the candidates that we're not interviewing to step out so there wouldn't be a disadvantage to, or an advantage to those that are speaking later. Your guys' thoughts on that?
Yeah, I agree.
I think that makes sense, yeah.
Okay.
So we,
So I have a couple thoughts.
Okay.
This is my third time having gone through this, and we didn't do that in the past. Mr. Counsel, if you can help us out here. None of these individuals that we are interviewing is going to be subject to any sort of workers' comp or employment laws or anything like that. Is that correct?
they're not employees of the board or the department, so at this point, they wouldn't be
Right.
covered by a workers'
So
comp.
the confidentiality of the questions, there's no legal issue. It's more or less of a fairness issue.
It's an equity issue, yeah.
It's an equity issue.
If person A hears question one, and person seventh candidate hears the same question repeatedly, they are at an apparent advantage.
Well, look, we can discuss it some more. So Becky, you feel we should dismiss the others so there's no unfair advantage, right? Is that your position?
Yeah, I just feel in fairness to all the candidates that we hear what that candidate has to say rather than the candidate hearing all the other responses that might create more of a favorable response based on what the board questions are.
Dr. Sparks, do you have any input?
I mean, I think, you know, there's all sorts, you also have primacy, recency, the first person and the last person, you know, the literature speaks to that. But, yeah, I mean, I generally agree that the latter candidates, hearing all the other candidates, would have more information, and that may not be balanced and fair.
Dr. Williams, you have something to say, I can tell.
So it looks like I'm outnumbered to begin, so
I'm still considering, so I'm looking
Okay.
for input to make a decision.
Yeah, so, so I didn't anticipate that, but certainly if it is the will of the board majority to do that, I could do that also. It's just gonna make it more difficult when we have, we made the motion to have 7 minutes of board questions each.
Right, to have one at a time.
That's gonna be really difficult to do the interview. So, you know, my motion was to kind of do this public forum protocol, how we had the opening statement, we had board questions, we had the closing statement.
Is there a particular order, like, that's random, you know?
Well, we have an order here that was put together. We have them numbered 1 through 7. So there is an order that's been established.
Was there any rhyme or reason to that order?
Nina, was there a rhyme or reason to our order? That's the way that,
This is the way that they came in.
okay, okay.
Okay, so basically, it's whoever submitted
As they-
their interest, and that's how they're
That's,
listed that way?
that's exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the way I was gonna ask questions was gonna be, I'm going down and say yes or no, because we only
Right.
get 7 minutes to do
Right.
this.
Right,
So I was gonna do a supposition and then ask the question, and it's a yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, so I can get the most out of my 7 minutes.
right, right. And if we're under time constraint, that may be preferred. What are your thoughts about that?
You know, I will go with the majority. I just feel that it is going to advantage the later candidates.
The other thing we could do possibly is we could do, like, the first question, we start with the first person, the second question, we start with the last person, or some random systemized
Well,
order.
we can certainly do that as a trustee. We can use our 7 minutes and go back and forth.
Right.
So we could do that. Yeah, I think,
To avoid what you're,
yeah, I think.
That or
we-
have everybody do their opening statements back to back to back.
Yeah, no, I think that's what I'd like to see, is I'd like to see all the opening statements back to back to back, and then one trustee at a time, we ask our questions to whomever we want, and then they each give a closing, and I don't think there's a real
Okay,
advantage there.
I'm good with
Okay,
that.
is that good? And that's
Yeah,
kind
that
of the
sounds
format
reasonable.
in this.
Yeah,
Okay, so we're
I'm
gonna
good with
stick
that.
with what we had.
Okay.
Okay,
And
so we,
you do have one public comment, but just for clarity, so that I know, you're going to follow the protocol that you already had identified.
Yes.
Everyone will stay in the room, so
yes,
forth. Okay.
yes, yes.
And, so,
You got one public comment? Okay. All right. Whoa. I was gonna say, you must be a doctor, so whatever is written here, please come up. What is written here?
right,
Right
go to
there,
the
yes,
podium.
please. And you have 3 minutes.
Oh, I will not be 3 minutes.
Okay.
I am glad that the board
Can you,
decided.
can you give us your name, since I can't read
My name
it?
is Dr. Shana Charles. I'm one
Thank
of the
you.
candidates in question.
Thank you.
I am glad to listen to the board discussion and glad that you decided to take public comment on this issue. I am speaking in support of the candidates being able to stay in the room, repeating what was mentioned before we had a quorum. I would just like to put this out there that as a candidate and a voter, actually really more as a voter in District 4, and as a candidate who knows pretty well what the chances are that someone else will be appointed to this seat, I am strongly in favor of being a voter in the room to hear all of the candidates so that I might know my colleagues here in District 4, we're all voters. And additionally, I appreciate the board's consideration of this issue and taking public comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Mr. Renner, why don't you come up, please, with your opening statement of up to 3 minutes. And next on deck, as he comes to a close, will be Paulette Chafee, sorry.
Thank you. Is it this one or that one?
I think the taller one for you would
Okay,
be good.
that's probably better. Thank you.
Madam Deputy Superintendent, do we have a timer?
Lisa, would you mind timing?
Oh, I am happy to. Just
Or I
give me-
could do it if you'd rather.
Okay. Yeah, because I need to
It
take
might
my.
be
Yes.
better
Okay.
if
Okay.
Greg
Greg
does,
does
so
it.
Lisa can pay attention. so
Okay,
She's not
yeah,
distracted.
good idea. Thank you, I'm sorry, go
No,
ahead.
you're fine. Thank you. Good afternoon, Orange County Board of Education. My name is William Renner. And first off, I want to say thank you for considering my application and my chance to participate in the selection for this vacancy. First and foremost, I am an educator. I'm a teacher. Since I was in 5th grade, I wanted to be a teacher. Both of my parents are teachers. I saw what they could do in their respective classrooms and communities, and I knew I wanted to do the same when I grew up. So that's what I did. I'm currently in my 6th year of teaching. I teach in the Chino Valley Unified School District at Cal Aero Preserve Academy, which is a K-8 public year-round school. We have over 1,700 students. I've taught 3rd, 4th, and now 6th grade. I love what I do. Despite the multitude of challenges that educators have had in the past 2 or so years with distance learning and the pandemic in general, I have persevered through these things because I love what I do. My students are the reason why I get up in the morning. I want to provide them with the best high-quality 21st century education possible. I'm a well-known leader at my school. I single-handedly created a student council for my students, for the elementary students. We have an ASB at our school as well, so we work collaboratively with them. I've also been the parliamentarian for our school site council. I've also mentored many teachers, and I've been our teachers union representative for over 5 years, representing our teachers with our school board. When it came time to negotiate our contracts for the very crazy safety precautions that we had during the pandemic. I was an essential part of that. I am just a few short months away from finishing my Master's of Science in Educational Leadership, hopefully to be one day become a principal in either in Orange County or in San Bernardino County, where I currently work. I went to Cal State Fullerton. That's my alma mater for my undergrad in anthropology, my multiple subject credential, and now my master's. My education in philosophy is very simple. I believe that all students, irrespective of background, color, creed, ethnicity, language, ability, sexuality, gender, deserve a high quality education, irrespective of where they come from or who their parents are. I grew up in La Palma, California. I'm a product of Centralia School District and Anaheim Union High School District. My experience has taught me that students deserve the exact same chance that I got to make a difference in their communities with their K-12 education as I did. I am motivated to serve on this board by my sense of duty. I feel that we need candidates to step up who are willing to do what's best for our communities and all stakeholders in public education. I want to show you that I am the best candidate for this position. I feel that I can bring a teacher's perspective, somebody who's worked in public schools very recently to the board and provide that worldview and be a voice for our communities and all members of District 4. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Hi, I'm Paulette Chafee. Thanks for the opportunity to interview today. I have a very strong commitment to quality education for all students. I am an educator. I have my lifetime teaching credential from the state of California and also speech therapy credential. I've done classroom teaching and I've also done speech therapy in the public schools and clinics and hospital settings. I am also a licensed attorney, licensed by the California Bar, and I have a small practice in Fullerton. No other applicant has all of my qualifications. I grew up in District 4 and went to all public schools. I spend countless hours currently every month on District 4 campuses, speaking with teachers, administrators, and parents. My experience and dedication is what I bring to this position. Many challenges face Orange County Public Schools today, and I have the wherewithal to deal with them. There's teacher retention, declining enrollment, mental health, graduation rates. There needs to be a greater focus on diversity, equity, and inclusion. A student's zip code must not be a determinant of education quality. Often, lack of quality education links a student to the prison pipeline. I am involved with the Orange County Children's Partnership currently. I'm already involved in creating better educational environments and could do so much more if I'm a part of this board. I'm also part of the Orange County Cares Commission, which is doing justice through intervention and prevention. Our students are our future. I am committed to doing all I can do as a trustee of the Orange County Department of Education to make it a bright future for all of our students indeed.
Thank you. Number 3 is Tim Shaw, please.
Good evening. I was a candidate for this seat in March of 2020 and received 34,998 votes, but who's counting? That was 6,000 more votes than the next place candidate received in the election. So I was privileged to serve on the Orange County Board of Education from the 4th District from July 1st, 2020 until November 1st of 2021. I desired to continue serving on the Board of Education, but a legal challenge compelled me to resign the position to avoid the unfortunate costs of litigation. During my time on the board, I strove to be a trustee that empowered parents in their children's education. As board members, we can accomplish that when considering interdistrict transfer requests. We can also give parents and students choices in their education by providing educational alternatives, such as charter schools. The Orange County Board of Education currently has 19 chartered schools throughout the county. that are providing outstanding educational opportunities for our students. While the County Board of Education does not directly decide what curriculum is being taught in public schools, our board can provide forums to enlighten the public on the curriculum. Such was the case when the board hosted forums on critical race theory, a topic that had tremendous interest from the public. I would suggest the County Board of Education continue to provide that leadership in bringing these issues to light. I can mention also, I served on the La Habra City Council for 13 years, including serving as mayor of La Habra in 2012 and 2018. I served for 4 years on the Orange County Sanitation District Board of Directors and 9 years on the Orange County Transportation Authority Board of Directors, including a year as chairman of that board in 2019. I've worked as an adjunct professor of American government at Rio Hondo College for the last 16 years. I hold an associate's degree from Mount San Antonio College, a bachelor's degree from Southern Illinois University, and a master's degree from George Washington University, and an executive certificate in public leadership from Harvard University. During my time on the board, I believe I developed a great working relationship with the staff here at the department, as well as my colleagues on the board, and with your vote, I'd be honored to rejoin your ranks. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Next, we have Shannon Zimmer, please.
Dinah, rather than the candidate do this, can we have the staff do this? I don't think it's appropriate for this individual to be doing that. So none of you have to do any of the cleaning. We'll have the staff do it. So thank you very much. I'm sorry, what did she say?
I don't know.
Let's get started.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Okay. Should I remove my mask for speaking? I think you can hear me. Yeah, you can hear me without me taking my mask off. I'm Shannon Zimmer. I live in Buena Park. I graduated from CSULB with a degree in engineering geology. And I've been married for 30 years to my husband, who is a professor at Cal State Long Beach. We have 2 kids who went through the Centralia system and then Anaheim Union High School. So I went to, my mom, my kids and I all went to Buena Terra. And then my daughter went to Oxford, and my son and I were graduates of Kennedy. So we have a long generational roots in our community. My mom and grandmother were also involved in community service as I was growing up. I have followed their example. I have served on the PTA at my school district, and I serve at the county level as well. I've been a vice president at 4th District PTA in a few different positions. Currently, I'm social media chair. I also was my daughter's Girl Scout troop leader. Our efforts culminated in a 3-week trip touring Europe, which was amazing. And I served on the, I'm going to take this off because it is hard to talk through it. I served on the county level board as one of the cookie team leaders. So when we talk cookies, I'm talking millions of cookies. But I also worked with Boy Scouts. I was my kids' team mom. I've always volunteered in the arena that I was passionate about with my children, choir board, things like that. We travel frequently because my husband has 4 months off a year as a college professor. So during those times, we would pull our kids out of school and homeschool them for several months a year and then put them back in the public schools. So I've been involved in homeschooling myself. And I know that's something that the county board deals with quite a bit. I have subbed in our school district in Centralia, so I have a teaching credential and I've worked in the schools in K through 6 and special ed and resource specialist. I currently volunteer for the PTA, as I said. I work with the Buena Park Collaborative. I'm on their steering committee. I volunteer several hours a week as a case manager at the Community Resource Center in Buena Park. I think this gives me some unique insight working with our population in need and connecting them with services, everything from diapers and food to housing and clothing and after-school tutoring, and where can I connect to Christmas presents, and such a wide range of things. And so many people in desperate need. I also am the Arts Now ambassador for Orange County for Create California.
as such, I've traveled up to Sacramento and also through PT. I've been up in Sacramento and visited our legislators to advocate for education issues and issues affecting our children. I also am the Buena Park appointee to the new OC Power Organization community.
I apologize, your time's up.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Next up, we have Shanna Charles, please. Sorry, Shayna.
Okay, is this one work? Nope. All right, going down here. Okay, yes, I am Shayna Charles. Good to see you again. I am a professor at Cal State Fullerton in public health. I care deeply about public health and about education. You can read my CV. I have read yours, Dr. Sparks, and I am incredibly impressed by your Google profile in health communication. It's an honor to see that. I have read yours, Dr. Williams, and I am incredibly impressed by your work in public health practice and in physician work in Orange County. I have read yours, President Barkey, and I'm very impressed with your community work. And of course, Trustee Gomez, I've read yours as well, and I'm very impressed to be with another dean. And of course, I'm just a lowly associate professor. What I don't understand is why this incredible body, this group of 4 people, who I would say, yes, I want these people to be leading the public health effort to protect our schools, does not even appear to respect the ordinance that Dr. Clayton Chow issued on December 15th. And I have great respect for Dr. Clayton Chow during this incredibly difficult 2 years. But there is a current order that says masks are required for all individuals in all indoor public settings, regardless of vaccination status, from December 15th, 2021, today is a week after that, through January 15th, 2022, because of the Omicron variant. This is the law. This is the law in our county that I am very upset that people who took the same oath that I did when I was chair of a Fullerton commission, I wasn't even elected, because I tried to get elected and unfortunately did not make it onto the school board. And I have an incredible respect for those of you that were successful in your campaigns. And I have a great respect for the rule of law. And I don't understand how you can break your oaths to uphold the laws of California and not even follow the basic public health orders. And I have to waste my time talking about this when it should just be basic following the rule of law here. And you have this incredible opportunity to help all of the districts in Orange County promote best practices. Some districts are having outbreaks where the entire 6th grade is shut down right now. I know because my kid is in that district. I also know that at that district meeting, for the first time in my entire life, as an audience member, I was threatened with violence by another person in the audience who turned around, and this lovely woman who could have been one of my Girl Scout co-troop leaders, when I was a Girl Scout troop leader as well, she turned around and said, "I'm going to punch you in the bleeping bleep, you bleeping bleep." I will not say those words here on the record. That kind of threats of violence is happening in our school district meetings right now. And yet, when I looked to see what you all were doing about that idea, what I saw is that you said you were trying to take on the federal government and the National School Board Association for trying to protect parents. I'm shocked. I'm absolutely shocked. I'm shocked you're wasting your talents that way. I'm also shocked
sorry,
that
your
Mr.
time
Shaw
is
did
up.
not resign at the last La Habra City Council meeting as he promised he would do.
Thank you. Your time is up, ma'am. You can go ahead and sit down. Thank you.
Next up, we have Jennifer Kinkle.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jennifer Kinkle, and I appreciate your time here today. I've been in education for 26 years at multiple levels. So I started working with infants here in our county. I am a OC resident my entire life. I was born in Irvine and went to Irvine High, went to UCI, did my undergraduate degree at UCI. Went on to do my master's at Pacific Oaks College in human development and have remained in education my entire life. I currently am a full-time faculty member at Fullerton College in the Child Development and Educational Studies Department. I'm also a member of the Orange County Child Care and Development Planning Council that meets here at OCDE. I'm also the single adoptive parent of a 5-year-old who is here and will attend the Fullerton School District starting next year. I've experienced, again, at all levels, so starting with infants all the way up through college age, which is what I work with now. I worked at the UCI Farm Elementary School, which was on the campus of UCI. I worked there for several years as I was going to UCI and studying education. I also, my last position before I took the position at Fullerton College was a director of early childhood education for the Huntington Beach City School District. So I've had a lot of experience working with LEAs, sitting in board meetings, presenting information that was pertinent to what was happening at the time. Of course, Orange County, you know, the population size as large as Utah or Iowa, we really we're struggling with such a large, diverse body of humans. We have such diverse needs, you know, large foster youth population, and of course the students that you're reaching by the Access program. Right now, we're at this tipping point, I feel like, in education with COVID and the pause that we had in our educational systems. We have so many opportunities with things that you're providing currently, like the Access program. We also, of course, know that LEAs are responsible for that early intervention services, and the expansion of TK through AB 22 is the prime time to be able to do that. We know that we'll save countless lives of children and finances if we can invest early, and that's what this TK expansion allows us to do under AB 22. So of course, also my primary belief is that parents should have school choice. We should invest in schools so that parents have options for the school that meets the best needs of their child. And I thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And last, we have Carol Jensen, please.
You can move the other mic. You can move that other mic because it's not on. It goes to the other podium, so then they're not confused. Yes, thank you.
Thanks. Hi.
You might want to lift that up just a little bit.
Okay.
Okay,
Better?
thank you.
Okay. So I'm Carol Jensen. I didn't know how you were running this. I apologize. So I've lived in Buena Park. When I first, my husband actually grew up and was born in Buena Park. Was one of the first students when they opened Beatty Elementary in Buena Park. So we were very happy to move back to Buena Park when we got married. My children went throughout the school district, went to Troy High School, very active in all of their endeavors. Anything they were doing, I was there. So I was getting a real good firsthand look at how education was working in our schools. And so I decided in 2000 to run for the local school board, Buena Park Elementary. And so I did that, and I served for 16 years. And that was terrific. I enjoyed that. I really liked serving my community. I liked being a parent in that position because it gave me a different look at what was happening. When my term ran, when I finished with the school board, I continued volunteering in the schools. I volunteered at our local junior high 3 days a week. I was running the Stallion Store, which is our student recognition where they could come and spend their bucks that they got for good behavior for the PBIS program. So I implemented that one, and I continued to run it until we hit COVID. I have not been back in the school since COVID hit, which I've dearly missed. And so in 2020, in order to continue serving my community as a whole, not just my little school district piece, but as Buena Park as a whole, I ran for the library board and was elected. And I've been thoroughly enjoying doing that, and it's a completely different outlook on how my community interacts and how I can best serve. Education-wise, I do have my Bachelor of Science in Human Resources with emphasis in, sorry, very nervous, personnel management, labor relations, and contract negotiations. At the time I was doing that, I was working at Disneyland, and I thought, ooh, unions, okay, I can turn this into a job. That's not the way I went. I went aerospace instead with Rockwell and Northrop. Got married and was fortunate enough after 5 years of marriage to start a family and stay home and then be able to be a volunteer and do Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts and any other activity my children were in. So my emphasis for being here today is just having served my community for, gosh, 30 some odd years. I just thought it would be a nice opportunity to come and maybe serve my county as a whole, a different perspective on it. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so now we're going to start our board member 7 minutes of questions, and I am going to,
Say again?
You'll let us know in 7 minutes, right?
Oh, yeah, I can tell you
Okay.
7 minutes.
okay, excellent. So I will start to my right with trustee Gomez.
Okay, I'm pretty much gonna go in order, the way that you presented, just so I can keep myself straight here. And I'm gonna ask this, I'm gonna, just state the question once, so that'll give us all more time and give you a little more time. So, if you wanna come to the podium?
Yep, thank you.
Thank you. So, in your view, what do you see as the major issue facing education in Orange County, and what would you like to do to help correct it?
Well, in Orange County, I'll speak from a teacher's perspective. Teacher retention and the ability for high-quality educators to come into our system is the greatest long-term issue. I not only see that from my own perspective, but for our students. I have not taken a sub day in over 4 years because our district has had a great difficulty finding any substitute teachers as well. Not only does this increase teacher burnout and teacher exhaustion, but it's not good for our kids. It's not good for our kids to have teachers who are spread so thin that they aren't able to take care of themselves as well. So long term for Orange County schools, what I'd like to do is encourage school districts to increase professional development training to help provide greater paid time off for teachers. Something needs to come off of teachers' plates. For example,
I'm gonna ask you, give me about 5 more seconds, because I gotta get through everybody else.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, just reinvesting in our teachers. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry to cut you off, but I'm trying to get through everybody.
Okay, with regards to teacher retention, why do teachers leave? Teachers leave because of unreal expectations. They feel unsafe. They're excluded from official decisions a lot of times. There's not enough staff, there's lack of respect, and there's the problem of behavior of certain students. The ways we can help this is to provide more mental health days for teachers, start teacher mentorship programs, input teacher ideas into new programs, and hire more aides for classrooms. I think the other issues that the board needs to focus on in Orange County are diversity, equity, and inclusion. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Shaw?
I think we are going to, I didn't mention my day job is with the local Realtor Association. And one thing I see is just the unaffordability of housing for younger families in Orange County. People in their 30s and 40s with their young kids can't afford a home, they move out of state, and we're going to be experiencing a challenge of declining enrollment exacerbated by having very controversial curriculum and other practices imposed at our local school district that will compel some parents to take their kids out of the traditional public school system. So between that, people moving out with their kids and people pulling their kids into homeschooling and others we've heard at board meetings talk of that, I think we will be looking at a challenge of a declining enrollment across our school districts in the county. So we need to address that by offering choices to those parents.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I see a different major problem in our schools and in our county education, in our children. Mental health issues are rampant throughout our schools right now. In my local school district, there have been several suicides by children. Some were kids I knew directly, and it's heartbreaking. And I think we need to do more to support our students' mental well-being. I think that helping our students be mentally healthy would also help our teachers and help our teachers retain. It reduces behavioral issues and challenges that teachers face in the classroom. So I really believe that we need to focus on having more psychologists and psychiatrists available to our students in the schools, looking at alternatives like restorative justice and processes that do not penalize children, but seek to help them heal and repair situations that are causing children to act out. And more looking at how to integrate social emotional learning into our curricula to support our students' mental well-being.
Thank you. I have 2 minutes left, I'm being told, so.
Okay. Yes,
This is like speed dating. so
and.
Go for it.
Yes, and I think the largest threat right now for this 6 months, for the duration of the period of this provisional appointment, is the Omicron variant, is the public health crisis we're facing. And it's incredibly important that we follow the basic things that we know help stop the spread that even 5-year-olds are able to do, which is put on a mask according to the rules of the public health officer. I also think that disrespect to school board members is important. That same woman that threatened me, a sitting school board member mentioned from the dais, that she was threatened by people by email that were sitting in that audience, and people cheered. If you don't think school board members are being directly threatened, you haven't talked to any school board members lately. They are being threatened. They are on the front lines. And I do not think that trustee Marilyn Anderson of the Placentia Yorba Linda School District deserves that. I do not.
Okay, I'm going to ask you to, thank you very much. Jennifer?
All right, I'm hurrying. Thank you so much. I would say in terms of Orange County, the biggest need serving our community is the diversity of student and the preparation of teachers. I know with a lot of teacher prep, there's lots of focus on curricula, but not a lot of focus on behavioral health. And so that would be what I would look into here today. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll be very fast. I think that one of the biggest issues is the achievement gap. I think we need to let the high students fly, and we really need to help the low students. And by doing that, you can do that in smaller classrooms. You can do them in smaller just groups, pull-out sessions. There are lots of ways to do it. One of the big ones I like that I've seen is you pull, the troublemakers out of the classroom and you put them together and you have a small class of them and somebody who's really on them and can help them in all of their subject matters. And that helps all the other students achieve as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to move on to Dr. Williams. How would you like to do your questions?
Quite differently.
Okay.
So I have only 7 minutes, so most of my questions will be quick. Yes or no, stay seated. Please do not come up to the dais here. I want quick responses.
Dr. Williams, they have to come to the dais for the recording, and it's also YouTube, so they, it's
Okay.
being
Could
taped.
line up,
You can repeat it.
just have them line up.
Let's have them line up.
Could you go in reverse order this time, so it's?
Okay, so William Renner, next will be Paula Chafee, Tim Shaw, Shannon Zimmer, Shanna, Jennifer, and Carol. Go ahead and just, because it'll be real quick, round.
Greg Rowland suggested that you go in reverse order to make it fair. I don't know if that's.
Then we'll have another trustee can do that, that's fine.
I can do it. I'll do it.
Okay.
Okay. Again, please don't stall. If you stall and you don't respond in a quick and concise manner, I will cut you off.
7 minutes.
And go on to the next candidate. The Orange County Board of Education has taken a strong leadership role in the state for strong public schools. Of all the charter schools that have been approved, which ones should not have been and which ones should have been disapproved? Do you know the answer to that?
Yes, within past years, Oxford Preparatory Academy, I'm good with. The Classics Academy, no.
The Classical Academy, no?
Correct, no.
Okay, Mr. Shaw. Oh, Paulette. So I'm sorry.
Classical Academy, no, and Oxford, yes.
So Classical Academy, no, Oxford, yes. Okay, Mr. Shaw? What's your stand?
I would have approved all those.
Okay, very good. And then we have Shannon?
I will say generally I approve of nonprofit organizations running charter schools, but I disapprove of for-profit organizations and public funds going to profit
Okay, thank you.
individuals.
Shannon?
Again, Shana Charles, thank you. Dr. Shana Charles, and I will follow your instructions.
You're done.
Yes, I
Thank
know.
you. Let's go, Jennifer.
I would have approved every charter.
Good. Carol?
The only one I'm familiar with is Oxford, and yes, that would have been an approval. Thank
Okay,
you.
very good. Stay up there because you're all going to be, again, asked questions, and do not leave, and please don't stall. The state legislature, this is again with charter schools, the state legislature has increased administrative burdens upon charter schools by legislation. Do you agree with that governance and legislative burden placed upon public school charters?
No. Oh, sorry.
Paulette?
I think the legislation.
Yes or no?
I think the legislation needs to be modified.
Shannon, or Tim?
That legislation was terrible.
Shannon?
I missed part of the question.
Uh,
Sorry.
Basically, it's the state legislature and the governor signing laws that make it more difficult for charter schools to function.
The charter schools should be very welcome to function, but I believe that they should have to follow the same regulations and laws as public schools.
Thank you.
Duly elected officials get to make laws, yes. That's political science.
Okay, thank you, Shannon.
My position is that
Jennifer.
it should not be more difficult to operate charter schools.
Say it again.
That it should not be more difficult to
Okay,
operate
so
charter
you're
schools.
against legislation that puts
Correct.
burdens upon charter schools?
Correct.
Okay, Carol?
Okay, some of the legislation is terrific, other parts of it are really bad, and yes, I'd like to see them not have such a burden.
Okay.
Thank you.
Next question for everybody, listen up. The County Board of Education has taken a strong role in advocating for the rights of parents to direct the upbringing of their children. In public forums, resolutions, and numerous other public opportunities, we have criticized the usurpation of these parental rights by government entities. Some organizations like Planned Parenthood, the ACLU, and other left-leaning organizations advocate that children should be exposed to the politics of gender identity, graphic books that have drag queens reading in libraries to children. They have over-sexualized children, and they've even promoted pedophilia by lowering the age of consent. Do you feel the California Healthy Youth Act has enough safeguards? Yes or no? Please, I don't have much time. Okay, let's go on to the next one.
Okay.
Paulette, your answer to my question? And could
It's
you?
a very rambling question. I'm not really sure on.
Very good. Thank you very much. Tim?
No.
Shannon? Or Shayna?
My response to that is,
Thank you.
Wow.
You're done, yeah.
wow, sir, you have no shame.
So thank you, Shanna, for insulting a sitting board member. Moving on to Jennifer.
That question had a lot of components, so
did.
I kind of have some yeses and some nos in there.
Okay, I'll give you 10 seconds because I'm interested in what you have to say.
I believe that we need to be very cautious about the materials that are put in front of our children, that there needs to be a proper approval process that involves parents and board members and teachers, and that we need to always be wary of over-sexualizing children.
Very good, thank you. Jennifer?
Yes, lots of components to that question, but I would say that children need to see the diversity in our community.
I liked her answer a lot back there, second one back.
Carol?
Thank you. I think that if it's within certain parameters, then all of those things can be introduced in the correct way. Overall, I think it's a parent's responsibility to do that, not the schools. Thank you.
Very good.
2 minutes, Dr. Williams.
Okay, this will be my last question then. The supposition is government overreach. Governor Gavin Newsom has taken emergency powers since March of 2020 when COVID-19 became a worldwide health crisis. The pandemic is now an endemic. It's been here a long time. Many believe herd immunity has been achieved. The County Board of Education, along with Robert Kennedy's child advocacy group, the Alliance for Children, are plaintiffs to remove Newsom's, I'm sorry, I'm going to take time, and will you please kindly remind the public that peanut gallery comments are disturbing to the process.
Yes, if you would please just allow the speaker to speak, we'll get through this
Yeah,
much quicker. Thank
Whoever's
you.
saying things out in the public, that's very rude. These are very serious questions. The question continues. So Robert Kennedy's Alliance and the Orange County Board of Education has filed litigation to remove Newsom's powers that he has usurped. The litigation currently is in the Superior Court here in California. Was this litigation necessary?
No.
Next, Paulette.
The people need a chance to speak, and decisions need to be discussed, and we go by the science is how.
You didn't answer my question, Polly. Was this litigation necessary? Yes or no? Okay, I'll move on. Thank you.
I believe we could have used that money more effectively elsewhere.
Very good. Mr. Shaw?
Yes.
And we already know your response, but go ahead and give it.
Seriously. And my comment earlier was an observation, not an insult.
No,
I
no, it's
believe
an
you are very
insult.
happy being who
It's
you
an
are.
insult. Go ahead and.
We have 652 cases of COVID-19
It's yes or no.
today.
Thank you, you're
and
done.
that's 4 times what it was last
Shanna,
week.
you're done. Thank you very much.
Shayna, sir.
You're
Dr.
being
Shayna
rude.
Charles.
You're being rude. And
I'm
you're an
answering the question
egotist.
that Gavin Newsom
Jennifer, you're
has
next.
used the legally
You're
granted
down
powers
over.
authorized by the California legislature,
I take my
and therefore
time.
Thank
no.
you.
I take my time back? How much time do I get
About 30
back?
seconds.
30 seconds? Okay, Jennifer, your response.
Okay, and to clarify, the question is?
Is the litigation necessary
From here
to
to-
remove emergency powers from the governor that he has usurped?
I would say no.
Carol?
Being that this is Orange County, I understand it, and I support issues that go with it. I don't know that I would have done that, but someone needed to, so thank you.
Thank you.
And that's it for my questions.
All right, we're moving on to Dr. Sparks, and if you would start in reverse order, I think that would be appropriate.
Yes, I would ask for reverse order. And first of all, I just want to say thank you to all the applicants who put your name kind of out there and for your commitment to serving the community, parents and children of Orange County, and your involvement in the schools. It sounds like you all care about, our kids and lifting them up. So I appreciate your efforts to come here today. My question is going to be a little more deep dive on one particular issue, and that is I want to know in 30 seconds or less, because I don't have a lot of time. Maybe I have 45 seconds per person, I guess. I want to know your stance on public charter schools in terms of creating competition for our districts, in terms of the high tides lifting all the boats. I want to know your philosophy of public charter schools, starting with number 7, Carol Jensen, and then going backwards. Thank you.
Thank you. I have no problem with charter schools. I believe all of our schools should be doing their best to provide for all of our students. It's not a one-size-fits-all. I like that you can transfer between your own schools and your own districts. I love that you can transfer into other ones. That's one of the things I loved with Fullerton Joint, was you could pick which one you wanted for what your child's strengths were and what you liked. If you didn't like it, you could still transfer out. And there is a process to do that, and I think it works well. So I don't have a problem with charters. Thank you.
Ms. Kinkle.
Thank you so much. I am a huge proponent of charters. As I worked in the Huntington Beach City School District, I saw that the LEAs are not always the biggest proponents of charters. I do feel like in that district, as a charter applied, it did create a sense of competition, a sense of healthy competition, a place where everyone really tried to meet the diverse needs of students. And that should always be our question. Our question in every decision should be, is this good for children? Is this good for students? And I feel that charter schools allow us that opportunity, and I'm a huge proponent of charters. Thank you.
Dr. Charles?
Thank you. So I speak to this from personal experience. Both my kids went to a charter school early in their elementary school career. And I specifically did that because it was the best place for them. And this was within the LAUSD system. I've also seen some bad charters within that system that siphoned money away and then short shrifted students and instead gave profit to shareholders. So I've seen both of those things happen. I think absolutely good charter schools that focus on the kids, that are based in educational theory. As our learned professors know, there is definitely educational theory that the rest of us don't know, and I think they have a lot to offer. I think those kind of charter schools are great. I think Orange County has many of those great charter schools, and I appreciate their presence. What I don't like is when we look at a for-profit model. I do not think that we should have shareholders who are profiting off of kids. I also have difficulties with online education. I'm a certified Quality Matters instructor. I have been trained in what is good online education at the collegiate level and the higher education level. And then when I saw what my kids had to do with Placentia Yorba Linda's summer school system last year, they were being required to do more in summer school than college graduates are required in online classes. And so there really needs to be more attention paid to the quality of online schools if
Thank
that's
you.
a part of
Your
it.
time is up. Thank you. Shannon Zimmer.
I support charter schools. I believe that healthy competition is a healthy option for our children. I think every child should be able to learn in the environment that allows them to expand and reach their full potential. I oppose charter schools that are privately owned for-profit organizations. I think that we should, those monies should be going back into investing in our children and not to shareholder profits.
Thank you. Tim Shaw.
I support charter schools, and I find the beautiful thing about a charter school is because there's no map on the wall with a district where you have kind of a captive audience. If the school is not doing a good job, people can very easily remove their kids from it. So the school is really, just like a business. You got to cater to your customer, and if the school is doing an outstanding job, as we've seen so many of our charters doing, students will naturally flock there, and if they don't, they won't. So that's why I just love the model of a charter school.
Thank you. Paulette Schaefer.
Charter schools do provide choice for parents and for students, but they must be fiscally responsible, play by the rules, and be able to take disabled students and those of limited English speaking. Equity, inclusion, and diversity. I do not agree with charter schools that are for profit and take money giving it to investors.
Thank you. And finally, William Renner.
Hello. First and foremost, I'm a public educator and product of public education system. So my primary focus is on making sure our public schools are well funded and well supported. However, some public charter schools can be an option for parents and community members. I do appreciate a well-organized, vetted charter school, such as Oxford Preparatory Academy. I've taken a tour of their campus and visited there. However, they're in one of my schools in my public school district, one of them was closed down for embezzlement. So it is really important to me that these schools are fiscally responsible, very transparent, and play by the same rules that public schools do, so there is an even playing field for all. Thank you.
Thank you. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, well, going last gives me the advantage or disadvantage of a lot of my questions were asked. So what I'm going to ask is let's go in reverse order again to keep it fair. And just in 30 seconds, tell me why you think you are the best candidate here today of the 7 candidates. So we'll start reverse, which will be with Carol Jensen, please. And just about 30, if you need 40 seconds, to tell me why you think you're the best choice for today.
Thank you. Having served 16 years on the Buena Park School Board, I think that gives me a good insight into how a board runs, how a good board runs. I do have the education for it. I have my bachelor's, I have my MBA, I also have my master's in governance from California School Board Association. I've been in the chairs, not at this level, although I've sat there with you guys up there for transfer decisions, so I have interacted with the board. I think in this case, my background in education and my 16 years on the board would make it a fairly easy transition to move into a chair. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your response. Next, we have Jennifer, please.
Good afternoon again, thank you. This is my life's work, so 26 years working with infants all the way up through college students. I know education very deeply at every level. I've also served on board, so I understand the inner workings of the board. I understand the Brown Act. I've been around for quite some time, have inner workings with OCDE specifically, have worked as a director at an LEA locally here, overseen by all of you. I have a master's, of course, in human development, and I continue this work every day. This is something that I will do the rest of my life, and I'm incredibly passionate about making sure that every child's needs are met. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next, we have Dr. Charles, please.
We are in a unique time period. You have this provisional appointment for 6 months. I am not planning on running in June. I care about this next 6 months because of the public health emergency that is still ongoing, because we're seeing case rates now double over 3 days, because we need to lead all districts to promote the best practices that some districts are already doing, but some are not. And that will help parents have a standardized, reasonable approach to dealing with this public health emergency that we have to deal with until this end of this school year. And God willing, if we do a really good job at it, we will not have to do any of this in fall of next year. That is my goal. I would love to not be wearing this insanely uncomfortable KN95 mask, but I am also very afraid, being high risk, of getting Omicron or of bringing it home even to my triple vaccinated child who is also high risk. It is important that we center these issues for the next 6 months, and you have an incredible opportunity to do that with this unique appointment.
Thank you. Next, Shannon? Shannon, oh, is it a typo? Is it?
No, it's just spelled differently.
Gotcha. Oh, I'm spelled differently too, so that's okay. All right, thank you.
I could step into this position and hit the ground running. I've traveled around the state teaching parents about participation in the LCAP and the importance of volunteering and the importance of the ability to read the testing results, the dashboard, and all the other things. I'm fiscally responsible and served on boards where I have had to oversee large budgets, especially back when I was working and doing things like Caltrans projects and highway projects that were multi-billion-dollar projects. So I'm capable of doing the financial work. I have volunteered at the prison school, and I'm familiar with that, and I realize that this board oversees that. So I could hit the ground running and believe passionately in public service as I volunteer so many, like 30 hours a week. So I would love to have the opportunity to give back to my community at this level.
Thank you so much. And next, we have Tim Shaw.
Shannon reminded me, I didn't mention in my opening, but we have 6 boys. So we are the parents of 6 boys, 14 to almost 4. We have one who is on an IEP, so I can bring that understanding of the needs of a special education child. And I think I could also hit the ground running. Been having done represented the 4th district for a year and a half, and having been elected by the voters of the 4th district, I think I'd be prepared to start on day 1, and that's it.
Thank you.
I'm the only candidate who has a lifetime teaching credential, a speech therapy credential, teaching experience in the schools, as well as a law degree, and also sitting on various boards like All the Arts for All the Kids, the Orange County Children's Partnership. I'm very, very familiar with every single school in the 4th district. I grew up in the 4th district. I've volunteered at many of the schools. I've helped out with initiatives to provide COVID hotspot, providing hotspots, outdoor learning, arts, and online education during the pandemic. And before the pandemic, I assisted on PTA programs and book fairs and doing social emotional learning with children in the district. I've spent my own money advocating for children in Sacramento. I really believe in quality education for every student, and I am the most qualified to sit in this position.
Thank you.
Thank you for the question. I really appreciate that. I am the only teacher here, as far as I know. I'm serving in a public school myself. I find myself as a teacher, this is a vocation, and I am called to serve. In my master's coursework, I have a deep understanding of educational law and policy, and I feel like I'm best poised to serve the next 6 months with grace and help bring the board a sense of integrity and honor that I think only an educator can do. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Okay, I believe now we're going to move to the final phase where each candidate has 1 minute for a closing statement. Mr. Rowland, should we go back to the original order?
Yes, we should.
Okay, so we're going to go back to the original order, and you have 1 minute each.
Hello again. Thank you. I appreciate your in detail questions today. I know that there are a plethora of issues that are facing our public schools. And I feel like my experience as an educator, I can give you that real world experience and ability to speak to those things that our students and family members and community members are experiencing. I would like to take this next 6 months to hear what the board has to say, work with the board on how to best affect our communities and serve our students first and foremost. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I have the education, background, work experience, life experience, and the best qualifications for this position. I have been on every campus in the 4th District. I know the issues, I know the teachers, I know the administrators. I have a working relationship with the Orange County Children's Partnership. I have already done many of the working board meetings to drive the initiatives during the COVID crisis to provide more for students at each of the schools in the district. And before COVID, I worked with social emotional learning. I was on the initiative for the Fullerton Elementary School Board with regards to mental health for the students. And I have assisted in advocating for First Five in Sacramento. Our students are our future, and I am 100% committed to making that future a lot brighter.
Thank you.
One of the best things Orange County has going for it is the Orange County Board of Education, in my view. If you have a child trapped in a school that you don't appreciate, you can appeal to the County Board of Education for an inter-district transfer and have a fair hearing. And what a blessing that is to moms and dads across the county. If you're also having your kid in a school that isn't working for you and you want to have a alternative form of education like a charter school, thank goodness we have the Orange County Board of Education that is going to be a place where a charter school applicant will have a fair opportunity to take their charter. And because of that, we have these great opportunities out there. So I would be honored to rejoin the board and continue that legacy and giving that opportunity to the residents of Orange County.
Thank you.
I feel that public service is an important part of life. I was raised within a community of public servants in my family, and I've been giving back for more than 20 years to my community. I care deeply and think that I appreciate that this board's goal is to benefit all students in our county and to be a final authority that supports students in some of their most challenging, some families and students, some of the most challenging times, like when a school isn't working and they want to change. And I believe strongly in the ability for families to have somewhere to appeal, like what this board does. I also appreciate fiscal accountability that this board serves, and I believe that I could perform all of the duties of this board and mostly keeping in mind the passion that I have for benefiting all students across our county. I believe also that in the position, we could expand slightly to, or I could reach out around the community in different ways than I do now, and I would appreciate that opportunity. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to take this time first to thank everybody who applied, but I would like to thank Tim Shaw, because when I read in the Orange County Register of what he was planning on doing, I disapproved, but I said, okay, technically it makes sense. But then when I read in the La Habra City Council minutes that he did not resign at the last meeting, as he had stated publicly in the Register that he was going to do, and that his one action was to vote against the public health emergency as Omicron was starting to rage, I thought, no, I cannot let him go unopposed and submit for this and have you all just say we're going to reappoint because he's the only option. No, I will put my name forward because it is very important that we focus on the public health emergency, that we promote what's right. I practice what I preach. I took a COVID test before I came here to make sure that I was negative because I'm in public with all you lovely people, and I had been told that you don't wear masks. I couldn't believe it that you still don't under Dr. Chow's order, but okay. I strongly urge you to take a COVID test when you go home. 3 days from now to 5. Please, stop the spread.
Madam President, if I can correct the record, that was false testimony and statement that was just made by Shannon. Mr. Tim Shaw did resign this morning from the.
She said it is last meeting.
Yeah,
It's
but
okay.
he
Let's-
did.
And again,
he
it's
did
Dr.
resign.
Shayna Charles, and I did not make a false statement. I said I read about him at the last meeting. Evidently, he did it in secret this morning. Great. Didn't do it at the last meeting. as he said he
Jennifer,
would.
thank you.
Like a bowl in a china shop.
All right, so first of all, thank you all tonight for your time. I've enjoyed getting to know all of these applicants. I bring to the table a unique perspective as an educator and as a current parent of a 4-year-old or just turned 5, will be entering the school districts. I am at a point in time where I can assist with decision making that affects our young children. She'll be in District 4. I already have had her in the preschool program at at Sunset Lane, so she's had some experiences there with that district specifically. And of course, I at Fullerton College am assisting all of these teachers who will be in the field at some point in order to be the best that they can be, in order to take the guidance that you've provided and turn it into real work with students in the classroom. So again, I appreciate your time tonight and thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you. Well, I think this board has a terrific position where they are able to affect children from preschool to pre-K, all the way through college, and to know that all students are not college bound. And they don't need to be college bound, but we need to better support our students, especially in the high school level, getting ready to go to a vocational school, whether it's at the junior college or it's in a private education, a private facility. Our junior colleges have terrific programs. They need to be supported as well. I think with my education and my 16 years on the school board, and just having a passion for children, for learning, and a passion for serving my community as a whole, I think makes me a terrific candidate, and I thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. Yes, that's it.
Madam President, may we take a break for the potty?
We may. So we are going to be on a 10-minute break. Thank you. Okay, we're back in session.
Okay, let's see how.
Madam President, I would like to make a motion to lay on the table Board Agenda Item Number 2 before us tonight until December 30th, which would be a new board meeting to make the decision on number 2. And at the same time, in this motion, I would like to open the candidate submission period and interviews until this Friday, December 24th. And if there's any new interviews, we would be interviewing these individuals on the 30th. That is my motion.
Is there a second?
Second?
All right, any discussion?
I would just like to clarify what we're gonna do. You wanna keep it open to extend the application period. Is that what we're saying? And then do another round of interviews with any additional ones then on the, you said the 30th?
On the 30th.
Okay, I understand the motion.
Any other comments? No other comments? All right.
I'll need to check to see if you have support for media. They came in off of vacation today to do the meeting, but I don't know if they have travel plans or if they'll be out of town next week. Our office is closed after tomorrow or till next Monday.
We'll
So the-
probably have to hire a private company then to do that.
Well, but I'm saying even getting your communications and everything, you know, if you're saying leave it open until the 24th, then the 24th is Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve, no staff is working, that's a holiday. So we would
What
not
about
even,
the Monday? Will there be staff working that Monday?
I'll have to check to see. I don't know who's working. I know
That'd be the
Aren't
27th.
the offices closed?
we have a skeleton crew of staff who will be here next week. I'm scheduled on vacation next week. I know Ms. Hendrick is out. Drew will be here, is it 30th, Tuesday?
30th is, I think it's Thursday.
I'm sorry? Oh, I don't even have, I need to open the calendar so I could see.
Yeah, the 30th is Thursday.
So that's a holiday. This office is closed.
So it's closed on the 30th,
The 30th and 31st.
really?
Those are because by bargaining, you have to be, Christmas Day, New Year's Day are on a weekend. So
How about the 27th?
Monday is, we're open Monday. But that's what I'm saying, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week are, and next Wednesday is when your board agenda will be posted for January.
We will be working on that. So the 27th or the 28th is open here?
Yeah, if you're extending the applicant pool, I'm saying you would only extend it till tomorrow because in order to meet a Monday deadline, the agenda has to be posted tomorrow because it has 24 hours. Special board meeting.
So you can't post it on the 23rd?
That's a holiday. We're
The 20
closed. The 23rd and
23rd is a
24th, we're
holiday?
closed because of Christmas. Christmas is on Saturday, so Thursday, Friday.
Sure nice to work for the government. I don't get to take that time off. Okay, so it looks like we're on a
I'm
shortened
sure you
time
have
then.
other time off, Dr. Williams,
No, I work 365.
by choice.
Yeah, I have to pay the bills. I know. So it looks like then it may be only practical to have this for the 27th. So I'd like to,
Well, when you're
Just
saying the
read-
27th, I'm saying it would be practical probably to have it on Tuesday, the 28th, because in order to post, we would have to post the agenda tomorrow for Monday. So we could post on Monday for Tuesday. You following me? Then people would be
because
able,
you're not going to be here on the 23rd, is that correct?
Correct.
So tomorrow's the last day.
Tomorrow's the last day.
What's the availability of my board members on the 27th and 28th?
27th works for me, 28th.
It doesn't.
I'm open all next week.
Okay.
I unfortunately don't have my calendar with me, but I probably can do it, but I'm going off of memory here. Or what time are we looking at?
I'm open to that. I think if you have particular time that's better for you, Becky, I'm certainly fine for that.
Like, I mean, just about this, like.
Like
3 or
5
4?
o'clock?
3 or
4 o'clock?
I work for you. So
Okay.
I'll be available.
All right, so we're saying 12, 27, 4 o'clock, is that?
So I will redo the motion just until we decide all this.
Okay.
Okay, so Nina, what you're saying is the applications have to be in by tomorrow?
If it's for Monday, yes.
Okay, can we say like 4 PM?
Yeah, because we'd have to
Would
post it by 4.
Would there be staff available to get that request for an interview and candidacy?
Well, then we'd have to notify everybody. So I don't know how many applicants and so forth. So if we say 4 o'clock, then at 4 o'clock is the cutoff. So in terms of doing a draft agenda and contacting all the individuals and so forth,
Contacting which individuals?
whoever submits an
Applicants.
applicant, so
Okay.
that they know to be here.
Okay, that's what I was just clarifying.
Yeah. And are same people who are, would they have to resubmit? Are they carried
No.
over? How does that
No,
work?
No, I don't think, no. Anybody who's interviewed today doesn't have to interview again.
So Mandy, we say 3 o'clock is the cutoff, so that gives a couple of hour window for processing any applications.
I'm fine with that.
That's less than 24 hours to give people an opportunity to apply,
So can we do
just
the,
from logistics.
right, can we do a 4 o'clock cutoff and you guys are here till 5? And that way it'd get 4? Or they're here till
Then
4?
do a 3 o'clock cutoff.
Well, we've got folks on vacation too, so next week.
Yeah. Mr. Rowland?
Yes, ma'am.
Just, because the legal notice said that it was going to be today, are we required to do another legal notice to extend it?
I believe you would.
And so in order to do a legal notice, you need, then that also creates an issue. So I'm not sure with the holiday when we can get to the register to get that in. Well, we wouldn't even make the deadline
We would
because
have to do that tomorrow. Could we do that conceivably
it,
tomorrow?
it takes 2 days for them to do it. If we've cut it off for people to submit, the legal notice doesn't do any good.
Well, we already have a legal notice. We're just extending this, right?
We have a notice for an application.
Do we have to renotice that we're extending
Yes,
the
just like we did
application?
last time. So,
We'll
I
listen to
hadn't
our
taken-
council.
I hadn't taken that into account. So there's a notice period that is, was the notice period 48 hours? So we could renotice the meeting for the 27th by,
it's not the notice for the meeting, it's the
the
notice.
notice for the you're right, the notice for the registrar. Can we renotice that? Logistically, is it possible to renotice that by tomorrow?
They require 24 to 48 hours. The last time we missed the deadline, it was a 3-day. I don't know because it's almost 5 o'clock now. So we would not be able to find out from their legal notice department until tomorrow morning whether or not we could get something in we did it Wednesday, last time it was in the Friday. So
And that's
if it's
for new applicants, correct? Or that's for any applicants, or that's for the?
It's just for the public legal notice that's required by code section to be in the paper.
Okay. We can make every effort to do that tomorrow for a meeting on the 27th. If they don't, that's all, that's the best we can do. unless we're having the meeting the 28th and trustee Sparks cannot attend. So if they are unable to do their legal notice, that will create another set of issues. But they have to do that. We have to notify them tonight that we're going to be trying that. And on behalf of the board, we apologize for any inconvenience to staff.
Well, unfortunately, staff may have travel plans.
Right.
Yeah, but the staff
unrefundable
can't ruin
tickets.
what the board wants to do.
We've heard that
Well,
before.
we have to have the support to do our meetings.
Right, and we're just asking the staff just to go a little bit out of the way. Why can't we post this tonight? Is there a reason why we can't post it tonight?
Somebody else is posting it. They're going to have to request
We
the
have to
register.
type up a legal notice, and you've seen public legal notices, you've seen those. So that has to be typed up, sent over. They have a cutoff in terms of their normal schedule. I don't know what that is because it changes all the time. And then now it's holiday schedule. So they also have a holiday schedule, which I don't know what it is.
One would imagine.
And all I'm saying is, even if we can make the deadline, we post it, your posting has the details of what we're doing. And so if it's posted and it makes it in the register on Friday and your cutoff was tomorrow, then I'm saying it serves no purpose. So you'd have to have the cutoff. If it's in the paper on Friday, then your meeting would be sometime after Monday in order to receive the applications.
And we are prepared to do that. We just don't have an open boardroom to do it. Is that what I'm hearing, that we don't have an open boardroom on the 29th, 30th?
Just a second. I'm getting, because I have staff who are watching this. Holiday deadlines.
Which means they are dedicated and available.
Yes. Submission deadline 3 p.m. Wednesday, December 22nd. Publication would not be till January 6th. So I can.
That doesn't make sense. That
What,
does
just-
not make sense at all, because it didn't take that much time last time.
All I'm telling, I'm getting something that says that there
Says on
is
the
a holiday
holidays, that's
schedule.
why
I
it's
would
a
have to
holiday
call to
schedule.
verify what I'm seeing, but this says holiday deadlines.
Where does this have to be published?
In the Orange County Register.
Can it be any other periodical besides the Register? Can it be the LA Times? Can it be the Epoch Times?
I don't know. It's usually the local paper. That's always been my experience. Do you have any input on that? Whether it
Says-
can be the
It says the local newspaper.
Daily Bugle?
Could be the Costa Mesa Pilot. The
No,
Fullerton
because
Observer.
that was not for,
not-
District 4 is not in Costa Mesa, so that has circulation that would encompass where you're trying to draw the applicants from. So I'm only aware of the Register, because that, gets everyone, but whether there's a newspaper that encompasses all of trustee area 4, I don't know.
So the LA Times meets that qualification as well as the Orange County Register, is that correct?
Mhm.
Tim, does the Fullerton Observer go into your district?
No, they're not legally set up to do
Okay.
notices. They can't accept.
So then it's the Register or the LA Times. And if we send it out tonight to the Orange County Register, is it put into the legal notices section? Is that's how it's been? I would like to ask.
Well, I'm guessing everything right now. Their hours are 8 to 4:30, so we've passed the deadline for me to call today. I would say that I need to check on the information that you're asking me to get accurate information for the board. I just don't know.
So, but we can still post and agendize a December 27 meeting, correct?
You can post and agendize a meeting. The question is whether
Whether
or
we
not you
get-
can do an appointment and, at that time, because
Greg, help me out here. So we've already made an announcement that we're going to be filling this position. We gave a date and a time. What is specifically required by the code? Is it just the announcement?
My understanding
Or
of
can
the
we have some
elect, yeah.
flexibility in this?
I wouldn't advise flexibility with the December 31 deadline. We have to make, the board, if the board chooses to make an appointment, they have to do it by December 31, or then it goes to a provisional election.
Right.
So I don't know that there's any flexibility with that timeline. And these issues with regard to the posting and the notice for new applicants, there are logistical issues that we've just been foisted upon us in the last minute or two. And I don't have any reason to believe that these aren't very real logistical issues. So my advice to the board is whatever you need to do, make that appointment by December 31.
So then it's going to go back to you, Nina, and we really need you to help us out here, because I don't want to put this decision off because it's going to cost $500,000 to have the special election. Can we get an effort to put it on the agenda on the 27th and to get it properly posted? Would you be able to go out of your way to do that?
well, I've already said that I need to check on it. So once I check on it, I can give you the answers. It's up to the board what direction. If you want to have your meeting on Monday, then, I mean, certainly we will do our best to make it happen. Question is, again, whether or not we have media support, I don't know, because that's a different area. I need to check on those things. And so if you don't, what can we do in one day to make that happen? I can do a lot of things, but I am.
Can we hire private media?
That would probably take longer. Ken, that would probably.
Okay. So what I'm hearing then is that we're at a stalemate here.
Well,
'Cause
if
we can't
Monday
make a
is the
decision.
date that you're trying to do, then, I mean, you're giving me one day to try to do a whole lot of stuff, so.
It's going to save the department $500,000, so that's what I'm trying to do. Will you take control of the public?
Let's just concentrate on what we got going on here.
I can't concentrate with heckling.
Would the public please not heckle so that we can try and get this wrapped up? Thank you.
Yeah, so we're going to need the help of you, Nina, to save $500,000 from this going to the public. There are issues that are outstanding. I think you heard the motion that I made, and I'm flexible on the dates, but we're going to need to have, if we do make it the 27th, we're going to need to have the media present. And will they be able to do that?
I don't know how many different ways I can say. I can give you answers tomorrow. I cannot give you answers tonight. You've just given me a whole lot of things that you want me to check on to make a meeting happen on Monday. I can do my very best to do all those things, but I don't know that, I can't sit here and tell you, yes, I can do that. I'm not going to do that because I don't know. I mean, we're here today. We made everything happen in the short amount of time we had to have this meeting. We continue to support the board and want you to be successful in what you're doing. I can't control holiday schedules and external offices and what their schedules are.
Can you give us 5 minutes, please? Members of the board, 5 minutes? Members of the public, thank you.
Take a break.
Give us just two. Yeah.
Is it just the executive committee?
Just the executive committee, yeah, just the executive committee.
Madam President, I would like to withdraw my motion to lay on the table, Board Agenda Number 2, as well as opening the candidate submission. I'd like to make the motion that we appoint Mr. Tim Shaw to the board for District Number 4.
Do we have a second?
Second?
Discussion? Discussion? No discussion? All right, then we'll call the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed?
Oppose.
Okay, so it's 3-1. Congratulations, Mr.
You
Shaw.
can do the oath of office.
I will do the oath of office.
Mr. Shaw, we're going to give you the oath of office, sir.
Should I go down there?
Yeah, go down there and do it.
I,
Tim Shaw,
Tim Shaw,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution
that I will support and defend the Constitution
of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California
of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties upon which I'm about to enter.
discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
Do that president thing.
Thank you, everyone, for attending tonight and your participation. We truly appreciate it, and we are now going into closed session. session to report out on our closed session. Greg Rowland will report out for us.
I'd like to ask the crowd to be quiet. On closed sessions, items number 1 and 2, trustee Gomez absented herself. She had another engagement. So in attendance were trustees Shaw, Sparks, Barkey, and Williams. And on closed session items number 1 and number 2, the board discussed matters of pending and anticipated litigation, and no action was taken.
Thank you, sir. I now
Make a
adjourn the
motion for
meeting.
adjournment.
Thank you, everyone, for being here.
Thank you.
You done with that? Was that Ken?
You back there with them?
I am actually on the front.
So have a great Christmas.
Happy holidays.
Happy Hanukkah. Happy Merry Christmas.